Are you still looking for a last-minute gift? Well, I've got you covered today. I've been making these bracelets for many years and gifting them, and everyone that I give them to really love them, and they're easy to put together. It's called a Zig-Zag Bracelet, and there is an Etsy shop called Marsha Neal Studio, and you can get a kit there. However, I'm just adapting this to with what I have on hand, and I'll show you how I'm doing that. But be sure to go and visit Marsha Neal Studio if you just want to pick up a kit and make some of these. What you'll need is some buttons, and I selected this one to show you today, and it has a shank on it. So grab your button stash and pick a pretty button. And you're going to need lots of buttons because I have a feeling you'll be making lots of these. You're going to need some, this is leather cording, and it's 1 millimeter. And I got this from Mandala Crafts. I got it several years ago, so I hope it's still strong, but it's just leather. And I pulled 28 inches of this because we can trim at the end. If you want to add a cross or something to yours, go ahead and grab that and put a jump ring on it. Speaking of jump rings, you're going to need lots of jump rings. And you know, what size are these? These are 6 millimeter round jump rings. Some beads for the end. I'm using these cute beads that have a little dot on them to represent a buckeye. And I really like using these. I bought a bunch of them years ago from a shop on Etsy. I will try to find that and link those below, but I thought that would be cute on the end. You'll need some 6/0 seed beads. I pulled these from my stash, and I thought the turquoise and the copper would be really pretty with this button. This is so easy. It's a little tedious, so don't give up on me yet. At the end, we'll construct a cute little drawstring bag using a quilt panel to put the gift in. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is grab, we'll move these out of the way. Go ahead and grab your leather, match up the ends, and go to the center. Grab your button and put that in there. This is going to be the closure. And then just make a loop and then pull the rest of the cording through. All right, we've got our string in like this. And then we're just going to do an overhand knot. And you'll want to bring that down close to that loop. There you go, just enough to secure it. And then grab a bigger bead and pull that down to get us started. Just like that. Just like that. So we have the loop, and then we have a knot, and then a bead to get us started. And then the next step is to go ahead and place a seed bead, and you have to determine what is going to be your top and your bottom. That is the most challenging part, and I usually just lay it down here. If you want, you could lay something on there just so you know what's the top and what's the bottom. But I usually just use my hands. Now we want to get some beads out. Just lay some out. Some of these. These are so pretty. And some of your jump rings. And this is called zigzag because you're going to go zigzag. Grab what you're calling the top layer. Grab a bead for that. Pull it down. Grab both of these. Grab a jump ring. And put the jump ring on both of the strings and pull that down. And you'll notice that this one is the next one that needs a bead. So we're going to grab a copper one. Just like that. And pull that one down. So we have bead, jump ring, bead. Now we're ready for a jump ring on both. Just like that. This one is ready for another turquoise, so we'll grab that and that string. And then what you can do is just start adding at the end instead of pushing them all down. All right, that one. And then we know that this string had a bead on it, so then this string we want to add the copper. And then a jump ring. And we see that this string had the bead, so then we're back to turquoise. And just kind of push them down gently. And you're getting a zigzag like this. So we see that we have turquoise and then copper. We're ready for a jump ring. And we are ready for the string. Push that down there so I can see where we're at here. There's the jump ring. So this string needs a copper bead. We're ready now for a jump ring. And now you can see why it's called a zigzag bracelet. All right, and then we're ready for the turquoise. And I just put the turquoise on this one. Jump ring. on both. And turquoise is on this one. So this string needs a copper. Push everything down. We're ready for a jump ring. And now we're ready for a turquoise. And then a jump ring. And copper. Just like that. Now I'll go ahead and finish the rest off camera. I'll come back and I'll show you how we finish this up. I just wanted to jump on here. We're getting close to the end. And here is what it's looking like. Hopefully I can get this to focus for you. Isn't that pretty? And it does get easier. It's only been about 10 minutes. It gets easier. And especially if you can just lay it down and work off of a table. It's kind of hard when you're trying to do it on camera. Oops, I think I need a copper. And then if you can just keep a rhythm in your head of where you're at. Now, if you use all the same color beads, then you don't have to worry about zigzagging back and forth on colors, at least. Just between beads, if that makes sense. And here is an example of where I messed up, because this does not have a jump ring. So I'm glad I got to show you that. It doesn't have a jump ring in between. And you'll be able to see that. So we're just going to pull these off. And I know that I need a jump ring there. Grab a jump ring. And then we can just get back to beading. Copper. Jump ring. Turquoise. Jump ring. I have to grab some more. I am not a jewelry maker, but this is one of the projects that I do like to make for people. And then we're ready for copper. I like to buy like colors of football teams and make those. Did I mess that up? Yes, I did. Because this should go on the turquoise line. So I'm in Packerland. So I have made green and gold ones for people. And then for my friends in Ohio, red and white, of course. And then I think I messed up this one. This needs, and you'll be able to tell if you messed up because it just doesn't look right. I need a copper here. And I'm only messing up, I think, because I am talking and not concentrating. But I just want to be able to show you how easy a gift this is. Now we're ready for turquoise. And a jump ring. And as you get to a certain point, you'll want to check and see if you're close to your wrist size. Not quite yet. We're almost there. When I get to that point, I'll be back. All right, I did a dry fit on my wrist. And I think it's kind of hard when it's by yourself, but this is where we want to be because this button will go in a loop that we're going to create. And what I do at this point is I try to get a larger bead in there before I tie it off. And it can be a wooden bead. Hopefully I can use one of these. I can try the Buckeye bead and see if I can get 2 strands in here. There we go. I was able to do that. And then all I did is I just added a bead at the end. And then what I'm going to do is just do an overhand knot. Right there at the end of that Buckeye bead. Don't tug too hard. There we go. Now we need to create the loop. So I think it would fit right there. So I would just want to tie an overhand knot right there. And we don't want that too tight. We want to make sure that we test to see if we can get the button in that loop. And yes, we can. So then you can go ahead and tighten that. There's the loop for the button. Next, what we want to do is grab some of our Buckeye beads or whatever beads you're using. I think I'm going to use some smaller beads. These are just regular wooden beads. So I'll do like 5 of these on one side. And there we have 5 on one side. And just a simple overhand knot again to tie those off. And just pinch these gently down to the last of that. Right there. And then go ahead and snip that. Then I'll take some of my Buckeye beads and put on the end, probably about 3 of those. and then a small bead again, because that hole is a little larger on that Buckeye bead. Overhand knot. Gently pinch up to the last one. And if you want, you could secure these knots with a dab of glue if you'd like. Okay, we've snipped that. Our bracelet is almost done, and this is where the button will go in, just like that. And then you're just going to select a place to attach the cross if you want to. So just take that jump ring and open it up. Find a spot where you'd like to have it, maybe right here on one of the other jump rings. And there you have it. How cute is that? How pretty. Let's see if I can get it on my wrist by myself. There we go. So pretty. All right, let's make a bag for this so that you can gift it to somebody. And I would encourage you to check out the video by Marsha Neal. She explains it a lot better. I've just adapted this to how I make them. And like I said, it'll go a lot faster if you use one color, but I just like to mix it up a little bit. So let me get set up so that I can show you how we're going to make our drawstring bag for this. For our little drawstring bag to put our bracelet in, I'm thinking 5 inches by 5 inches. This is a 10-inch square. So I am going to cut at 5 inches. And we are just winging it here, guys, but it will work out, I promise. So just take any quilt block that you've made, and if I fold this in half, this will be 5 by 5, and I will fold this down, make a hem, and then I will sew up the sides. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. And we'll do it this way. So I'll do the top first to get the hem. Just going to make a little hem on there. This is not going to be a raw edge one. So we'll go ahead and do that, a hem at each end. Then what we'll do is sew up the sides, and then we'll make a little casing for the top for the drawstring. I'm going to go ahead and sew those hems. We'll say about 1 inch. And I will go ahead and press those real quick and press this. And let's sew that really quick. Just with a straight stitch across there. And back stitch on each side. I've got both the hems done. Now what I want to do is just make up a quick casing to add to this. And we'll cut that at 2 inches. And the casing I'm going to make a little shorter, probably, that is that. Let's do that 4 inches per side. And the casing is what we're going to put the string in. 2, 3, 4. And then the casing will be like this. Very rustic. And it'll look like that. And I'm actually going to zigzag that on there. And I want enough to where I can get a string in there. So we'll go ahead and zigzag that. And I will give it a quick press. And again, this is pretty thick, guys, so you might want to use the walking foot. I'm going to do a wide zigzag. About a 5 width. All right, there's the casing on this side. Let's put the casing on the other side. And again, you want to make sure you leave enough room in there that you can put some string in there. Again, another zigzag stitch. And trim all your strings. And there is that one. Then all we need to do is sew up the sides. And I'm going to use a zigzag for that as well. Clean up our strings. And then we'll try to turn this inside out. And then get a pokey tool in there to poke everything out. Looks like this. Grab some string that you want to use. I found my vintage Dritz bodkin, and that's what I'm using to put in the jute. Push that up there, pull it through, then we should be good. We'll tie this end. Now let's see if it works. It does. There is our cute drawstring bag. It's quilted, and we can put our cute bracelet in there. You could put a note in there. But how cute is that? I hope you enjoyed today's video. I don't normally do jewelry, but I do have so many jewelry supplies to get through. So I thought I would share that with you. I do make these for people for Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the love. And until the next video, God bless.